Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I am your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for Pisces in the mid-month of June. Hello, Pisces. How are you guys doing? I hope that you're doing well. All right, guys, mid-June. How are you faring? How are you feeling? How's everybody? How's everything? I hope you're happy. I hope you're safe. I hope you're healthy. Pisces, we're still dealing with a pandemic here in the States and in several places across the world, so please continue to be safe when you're out in public, when you're socializing, when you're running your errands, getting your groceries, doing whatever you need to do. And if you're, obviously a worker out in public, please be as safe as you can, okay? Pisces, yeah, you guys, I randomly choose, or I roll dice to choose the order of the mid-months, and so you're the 12th sign, and I think this is the first time it's happened that for the mid-months you've come up as the 12th sign that I did. So sorry that it took so long for those who maybe have been eagerly awaiting this video, but that's the way the dice came out for you guys. Anyway, Pisces, in the beginning of this video, I just want to address something that I've addressed in all other videos for this mid-June series. I am publicly stating, because it's important here at these very crucial and developing and evolutionary times that we're living in, I want to publicly state my support of the Black Lives Matter movement. As a Black American, it is not automatic that I would support the movement, but in an effort to be transparent with my audience, with my clients, with anyone who sees my work or wants to work with me, I want to publicly state it because it's a very important issue for all people, not just people of color, that we face these social injustices, that we face these racial inequalities and injustices and confront them head on so that we can have a better future, so that we can progress towards a more inclusive and equal and equitable society and culture and world for everybody. So to me, it's very important to state that and to show my support for the movement. Because, like I said, it's beyond, how people of color are affected in this country and in this world. It affects everybody. If you look at the astrological movements that are going on with the planets above us out in the atmosphere, you'll see that we are on a massively spiritual uptick. We are on a massive spiritual evolutionary track. We're on a social evolutionary track, and in your personal lives, Pisces, I'm sure many of you can recognize that you are evolving as well. I'm just going to take a quick look at this top card. That's the Knight of Cups. So you could be and kind of look at the artwork, right? As I said, something about ascending or evolving. It's like this very angelic character, and it looks like he could be ascending or evolving, right? So in general, with the Knight of Cups, that's water sign energy, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. So you could be very much interested in some type of progression, in some type of movement. But I'm also feeling like there's like an apologetic energy in that Knight of Cups really quickly. So you might be apologizing to people, or people might be apologizing to you, which is great. Apologies are wonderful. They're great first steps towards something possibly significant. But anyway, going back to my mentioning of Black Lives Matter, I support that. If you disagree, that's totally fine. If you agree, that's also fine. If that bothers you, if that turns you off from me as a reader, that's totally cool. I respect everybody's own opinion on the subject matter, their position on the subject matter, but I feel it's very important to state these things on my small platform where I've created for myself, because I'm interested in transparency and authenticity and creating spaces for that. So I welcome people into my life in terms of working with me as a client. I trust them, and I hope that they would be able to trust me, and that's like sort of my effort in showing transparency and showing authenticity. Okay. Now, on to the regular spiel. Pisces, welcome to your mid-June reading. It's going to mimic how I do private readings, but keep in mind it is still a very general reading. The style in which I'm reading is what you would get if you purchase a personal reading with me. But again, the message is still general, so take only what resonates, take everything with a grain of salt, always use your own discernment and reinterpretation of what the message is that I give to you, okay? Anything that you want is already in the description box, so if you want the timestamp, that's down there. You can click it, jump to when the reading actually begins. That's why I put it there, so it's totally cool. You can also Find the information that you need if you want to get a personal reading with me down in the description box. If you have questions before you place an order, just go ahead and email me at the same address and I'll answer you as soon as I can. And the link to my Instagram is also in the description box if you want to follow me as I interpret oracle cards for you several times throughout the week. You can go ahead and follow me there and look at that and enjoy it or take from it what you will. And eventually, hopefully, I'm going to do some pick-a-card stuff on that platform as well if you would be interested in that, okay? All right, Pisces, let's get into it. And I apologize for the noise. I'm assuming you can hear the music. I can't help it. You know, I don't live in a standalone house, so these walls be thin, okay? Anyway, let's get into it for Pisces, please. I want to see messages, energies, and insights for Pisces in mid-June. Energies, messages, and insights for Pisces in mid-June. That feels like a 2. Let's see if I'm right. I'm right. I've been right all day. I love it. Because sometimes I don't know how many bridges they'll want me to do, but that 2 felt right. So let's see what's going on with you, Pisces. Mid-June, messages, energies, and insights for Pisces. Show me. Pisces. There we go. 1. Messages and insights for Pisces. Something flipped. What was that? 2. Do we want 2 or 3, please? For Pisces? 2, they say. Okay. Okay, so your first card out was the 9 of Swords, and then you have the Queen of Pentacles next door. 9 of Swords, stress, 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 anxiety, worry, sleepless nights. Dark Night of the Soul is another thing that might be happening for like a few of you. My mouth is like really tight as I'm trying to, you know, figure out what I'm meant to transmit to you here, Pisces. You might be having a hard time expressing yourself, right? That's why my jaw and my mouth feels like tight, like almost like lockjaw, I assume. I've never had lockjaw, but it feels uncomfortable. So speaking at this time might be uncomfortable for you, or having certain conversations might be uncomfortable for you, or you might not actually have the words, so you might be sort of like me, struggling to find the correct words or the correct phrasing to communicate to people what's going on with you. Or you're dealing with someone like this. It's a general, it can go the other way. So you could be dealing with someone who's going through this. But whoever this is, very, very, very upset about something. Very, very distraught about something, as we see this woman sitting up in her bed, sobbing or crying, or you know, just being overwhelmed. So at night, in your sleep, in your bed, when it comes to being restful, you might not actually be able to find the rest and the respite that you're looking for when we lay our heads down on the pillow, right? Normally, you know, sleep is a chance for people to recharge, to decompress. You know, your body physiologically, biologically goes through so much decompression when you're sleeping, you know. And I feel as though it's not enough, or it's not working for you. In some of your cases, it's not happening. You're suffering from insomnia, right? And this is very Pisces. Oh, Jesus. Even if you're able to sleep, even if you're able to get in 8 hours and wake up the next morning and feel a bit of refreshment, or feel a bit, you know, revitalized in some type of way throughout the day, or regarding a specific situation or a specific circumstance or relationship, things have been and continue to be burdensome, worrisome. It drives you crazy, to a certain extent. Now, you could have a fabulous situation going on at home. You could feel really content in your personal progression and in your health and your wellness, but this could be like anxiety or feeling overwhelmed at work. This could be feeling great at work, feeling phenomenal with your job, but then when you go home or you're dealing with things on the home front, it's like anxiety inducing. There is a particular relationship or a particular area of your life where it's hard to make headway and it overwhelms you at times, if not all the time in some of your cases, right? There are times in the day, like I said, like when you go and lay down at night, you can't like fully relax. You can't fully get this pattern of thoughts out of your mind, and you're tormented over something. In some of your cases maybe it's guilt, but like that's for a few of you. In most of your cases, Pisces, this just feels like no real solution to a problem like everything you've tried in order to quote unquote get over this, it never works. Everything that you've tried in terms to get away from, in some of your cases you want to get away from, because if you have a terrible job that's exhausting you, that, is not safe conditions, you can't afford to lose the job. You can't afford to walk away from it. You need to have some type of income, right? So it's like this stuckness. I feel whatever this is involving, it's like stuckness. I don't have a resolution. I don't have a way to get myself out of this. And so I kind of have to roll with the punches. And, Pisces is not good, if I'm honest. Not that you're not good with rolling with the punches, but like it's not good for your health. It's not good for your mentality. It's not good for your wellness when you roll with those punches. Pisces is definitely a sign that can suffer and go about the task or go about the act of suffering, but the long-term effects of it end up with you feeling like this or going through bouts of this. This could be high anxiety. This can be a high level of depression or functional depression, which is very true for so many people. Functional depression, you're just going through the motions of something and you end up feeling empty inside, or you end up feeling, like you're living not a double life, but like there are certain hours in your day or certain moments in your day where you're not even present in what you're doing. It's just you do it because it serves a purpose. It serves your bottom line. You know what I mean? And you're basically having to endure something that you don't want to endure, but because it serves your life in some type of way, you endure it. Like, that's what I mean. 12th house, martyrdom. You do a thing that costs you. You participate in an action that harms you for the greater good, right? And I'm not giving you a pass. I'm not saying, oh, congratulations, Pisces, good job on being a martyr. I understand that's part of your archetype, and I understand that's sort of a Piscean inclination. But, again, there's a lot of suffering going on here. Who the hell should applaud suffering? Like, this idea of martyrdom, I get that it works in astrologically speaking for Pisces and other signs and other people, right? I get that it's an option, or I get that it's an inclination or a tendency. But what is martyrdom? Sacrifice of the self for the greater good. The sacrifice itself can be a painful task. And that's what I'm sensing here. As an empathic person, I don't want to see anybody in pain, even if they're sacrificing for the greater good. Even when I do it, I'm not the biggest martyr, and I'm not someone who sacrifices all the time, but when I do it, I don't enjoy that I put myself through suffering for the sake of something else. Like, the act of suffering as an empathic person, as the person who's connecting with this energy, it's uncomfortable. Like I told you, my jaw was hurting, or my jaw was like getting, was uncomfortable or tight. So even speaking about this brings you some type of pain, brings you some type of uncomfortable feeling. And I don't want you to be uncomfortable. I don't want anybody to be uncomfortable. So that's what I'm sensing here. Deep levels of anxiety and depression, feeling pain, feeling like you're suffering, or feeling as if you're enduring something that I think you have to, or at least this is where your mind is, Pisces, because this is swords, right? So your mental capacity, how you think and rationalize about the world. I think that you believe you have to do this. I'm not here to argue that. And again, it's like this idea of martyrdom. if I do this, then it equals something on the other end, which is beneficial. And again, I'm not here to argue that our martyrdom is bad. It serves its purpose, and people and certain circumstances absolutely must function through martyrdom. I get it. But the thing about a Pisces, or at least with your astrological archetypes, is that you tend to do it a lot, and you tend to normalize it. And my caution when this comes up in Pisces readings is, just because it's normalized doesn't mean that it's correct. And we can see that in several cases throughout life and throughout, human history. Just because it's normalized doesn't mean that it's right. Okay? So that's what I'm going to leave it at that. Now, the other card that came out here was the Queen of Pentacles. Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. You could be dealing with an earth sign, but you don't have to be. So I get the sense that many of you are doing this for the sake of another person. Could be a Queen of Pentacles person. Or you're doing it because you take on this role of the Queen of Pentacles. So again, you're either doing it for the sake of a Queen of Pentacles, or you're doing it because you're taking on the role of the Queen of Pentacles, all right? Either way, the Queen of Pentacles is someone who is nurturing, who is loving, who is interested, or at least focused on physical stability, having a good home, stable job, food on the table, giving towards, providing and giving towards the sustenance of life, the sustenance of the person's own life and other people around them. Yeah. Can be a mother archetype. So you could be a mother Pisces, or this could be your mother. Yeah, and it feels like really feminine. I'm going to say that. It doesn't have to be a female, as we normally associate femininity with females. It can be a male, but this energy, the marker of this person is highly feminine, or at least aspected in the feminine side of themselves at this moment, right? So again, this can be a male, or this can be someone who is traditionally masculine, but at this moment they're in their feminine vibe heavily. This is a sensitive person. So again, it can be you. And again, you would be sacrificing and participating in martyrdom for the benefit of yourself. That makes sense. That we do, plenty of people do that all the time. And if it's not you, again, it's someone external to you. And that motherly aspect of caring, nurturing, fostering safety or security for other people, like creating a safe space. So this is just an example, and I don't want to make it like you shouldn't do this. Again, Pisces, I feel you're going to do it. I'm not here to tell you not to do it. But again, subjectively, as the person sitting here, as the empathic person tapping into this energy, it makes me uncomfortable. It makes me uncomfortable to witness another person being uncomfortable. Hence, empathic fire, right? So what I'm sensing is you could be opening yourself up to someone else, taking on their burdens, or you could be nurturing other people at your own expense, right? So, not to say you're doing this, but let's just as an example, you could be giving someone the last piece of bread in your cabinet, something like that, and you're starving, but you give someone your last piece of bread. That's a good act. That's a noble act. That's sacrificial, and it cares for others. But again, I feel that it's at the expense of yourself, and that's where, as the person who's tapping into it, it's just like, oh my God, I don't want to say don't do that, but like split the slice of bread or something. Like, I feel like you are giving yourself nothing, or you're taking practically nothing from the situation, or you're not benefiting from what's going on. But again, the greater good. There's something about the greater good here. And that is sort of, not to say all mothers are like this, but that is sort of like what we can conceive of a mother figure. Again, it doesn't have to be a woman, doesn't have to be your actual mother. Just the aspect of being a mother is to give of yourself to the point where you're spent. Like, several people can point to this in their own lives, relationships you have with your mother, or some of you might, note your mother in these ways, or you're this type of parent yourself where, you do go hungry so that you feed your kids. And again, I'm not saying that's bad. I'm not. But I can feel like if you're literally feeding your children and going hungry, skipping meals for like a day or two, skipping having anything in your body of true sustenance, and you're feeding your children. Because this is at this time in this country, in this world, a lot of economic upheaval. Again, we're still dealing with a pandemic. But let's say you're literally feeding your children before yourself, and you're not eating for several days, or you're eating, not very well, and your body is taxed. Your body is, in some sense, shutting down, right? I know that that's what you're supposed to do. I'm not saying don't do that, Pisces, not at all. But what I'm connecting to is you. You're sitting there hungry, tired. Your senses are screwed up because your body isn't receiving nutrition, right? So you're not able to function. Your kids are fed. They might not be full, might not be bellies full, but they're fed and they're taken care of. And that's what you're supposed to do as the Queen of Pentacles. You're supposed to take care of the things and the people that are in your care, right? But the level of sacrifice, I feel, is like it's detrimental to you in the moment, in this moment. The greater good in the future, you're doing what you're supposed to do, feeding your kids before you feed yourself. That is a real reality for several people. And Pisces, like, you're one of the signs, you, Virgo, maybe Capricorn a little bit, maybe Taurus a little bit too, would be doing that. I get it. But man, you are starving, you are hungry, you are taxed, exhausted by doing this. And that's just an example. If it's not literally, if you don't have children, if you're not a parent, that, it still applies. I hope you're able to get what I'm saying. You keep giving to a situation, giving to people at your own expense. And for the sake of martyrdom, I get it. But man, are you in a spot? You're in a terrible position, it feels like. And again, this is a general. If it doesn't resonate with you, please don't take it on board. But whoever is in this Nine of Swords energy, in relation to trying to appease or keep the Queen of Pentacles where they need to be in comfort, taken care of. Oh my gosh, it's a lot. It's a lot. Okay, so let's see some more information here about this for Pisces. Further information on this situation for Pisces, please. Please show me. Further information for Pisces regarding this situation. Nine of Cups. Wish fulfillment. Wow. And the Knight of Wands. Or excuse me, Page of Wands. Page of Wands. Excuse me. Well. Nine of Cups and the Page of Wands. This is a long-held wish. This is a long-held wish. This is something you're in a situation, maybe not that you wished for, but you're trying to find fulfillment in something, and you're possibly being dedicated to it. Again, to the point where it taxes you, where it takes from you so hard. However, it's what you've been wanting or what you've wished for, or you're trying to find happiness in this situation. So in some of your cases, you're trying to make the best of a bad situation. In some of your cases, right? So let's, for a moment, erase this idea of sacrificing for your children or sacrificing for the greater good. For a moment, let's just take that out. And let's just say you're dedicated to a situation that is totally draining you and maybe isn't working towards a greater good. Here you see this Nine of Cups, where in the background you see the traditional depiction of what the Nine of Cups is, and then you see this slightly older figure still with Nine of Cups behind him. And I get this sentiment of like sticking to the plan, of being committed to the dream. And that comes with a certain hardship. And then that also comes with possibly, Pisces, needing to give up the ghost, or possibly reevaluate the goal, possibly reevaluate the dream. So what do I mean? Again, for those of you where you've been at a job for years of your life, and at some point that job was great. It provided you with, the money you needed, the security you needed, the healthcare you needed, all these things, right? It did what a job is meant to do. And at some point maybe even made you happy. You felt contented and fulfilled where you were, right? Because of the difference, again, in the background, there's a younger depiction of what the Nine of Cups is, that traditional depiction. And then in the foreground, we see this man with white hair. Over time, you've continually gave to, again, giving towards, right, this job. And it gives to you, it provides you with what you need to take care of yourself. But as the years went on, the stress levels rise, okay? Your position in the company rises, therefore your responsibilities rise. Maybe there's been change in management. Maybe there's been change in the culture of the company. Maybe you have been, what do you call that? Not a hostile takeover, but if a certain company changes hands or changes ownership, right? A new CEO is taken on, right? And this person just totally changes the morale of the company in which you work. So after time, you're still holding on to this dream or this idea that this job is your dream job, is the job that makes you most happy, is the job that will provide you with what you're needing. But it isn't that way anymore. Because again, there's a difference. This Nine of Cups in the background versus what we see in the foreground. It has changed. This man has changed. He has aged. He has grown weary. Nine of Swords right above. And both of these are 9, so they're they're approaching a closing, or they're approaching accumulation point where we have to kind of give it up or keep going. That's sort of the thing about the 9. We either let it go, or we are in the midst of, not in the midst of, but we're on the brink of change. And you don't have to change anything. You can continue to do this. But what I am seeing is possibly aligning yourself to an original dream, an original inception point that doesn't work anymore because the culture has changed, because the environment and the atmosphere and the people that you work with have changed. If this was a domestic situation, if you were if you were at some point when you first began this relationship or began this connection with your partner or with your children, it was a sacrificial thing. But now you've grown, it's like you've grown so weary, but you're not letting go of your weariness. And you continue to do this. Again, I don't know your life. I don't know the specifics, but I'm telling you from an empathic perspective, Pisces, this feels like you're hurting yourself at this point. And maybe for a very realistic reason, or a viable reason, a valid reason, right? If we go back to either the job or the home life, it's not like I'm saying go cash in your family and get a brand new family. No, these are your children. This is your partner. This is where you live. It's not easy to just up and change all of that or let it go or seek to revamp it in some type of way, right? If you're having emotional, because this is now 9 of Cups, so mentally and emotionally, you're in a fix, you're in a bind. And if you're having issues with your partner or your children or other family members, it's not easy to say to them, hey, I'm having a hard time giving to this situation. I find myself sacrificing. I find myself being burdened with this. And they might not be receptive. So and that's the other thing about a Pisces. A Pisces will, again, burden themselves. I don't want to cause a ruckus. I don't want to cause upset. I don't want to challenge anybody. Not to say that you're afraid, or not to say that you default to people being in charge. No, it's more of like I don't think this person is going to be open to my criticism or open to my concerns. So let me just go ahead and it's my problem. Like Pisces will definitely, in my experience, I've found that Pisces will definitely, it's my problem. I'll sort it out myself. Water sign, all of the water signs are kind of internal. You're expressive in certain ways, but you keep certain things to yourself. And the things that you keep to yourself, you get it in your head, Pisces, that nobody else would be able to deal with this, or nobody would be open to trying to find a resolution alongside of me, or the resolutions that they would propose wouldn't help me anyway, so let me just go ahead and keep it in. And that's where that suffering comes from. And that's what I feel is going on here. Whether or not someone external to you, or whether or not the circumstances and the atmospheres that you find yourself in would be open to change, or open to, helping you out of a bind, helping you out of this torment, is regardless. The fact that you don't approach it, the fact that you don't even take it up as an opportunity or propose it is kind of what I'm feeling here. So you keep things within. And it's hurting you. And I don't want you to be hurt. And again, it's a general. If it's not your story, please release it. The other part that comes out is the Page of Wands, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. So some of you, this could be, again, a domestic situation. We've got a queen, which again, especially the Queen of Pentacles, but all queens kind of speak to motherhood or something to do with parental figures, right? And then you have pages. Pages in the tarot are akin to children. So this could be a relationship with a child, Pisces. They don't have to be a fire sign. They could be any sign. And so again, I do get this energy of sacrificing for the kids or sacrificing for the greater good, sacrificing in if it's not about a child, it would be someone that is dependent on you or someone that you care for. Even if they're not dependent on you, you just care for them a lot. They could be younger than you. Pages tend to be young people, if not young people, young energy. And I get the sense that this person is like not even aware of what's going on with you. At least not the depth to which you're to which you're wrestling with this or coping with this, right? This Page of Pentacles, Page of Wands, as you can see, is riding a merry-go-round. So this person is probably out having the time of their lives, or they're really unaware of whatever you're dealing with, or unaware of how serious the situation is or how serious the circumstances are, if they're integral or somehow a factor in them. So again, if you're literally feeding your children and going hungry for days and days and days, surviving off of energy drinks and candy bars and all this other kind of stuff, and giving your children full meals, and you're like snacking to survive, your child doesn't know that. Because, and you know, more power to you in a sense. I don't think it's a tough spot to be in, because if you were to reveal to your children, mommy or daddy is hungry, mommy or daddy is not eating, and I'm giving you all of the food, I'm giving you the full meals because it's important that you, I mean, especially if they're a young kid, it's important to their development. Gotta have strong bones and muscles and all that good stuff. So if they're eating a full meal with, you know, meat and vegetables or protein and vegetables and getting all the nutrients that they need, and you're over there with a Snickers bar trying to be satisfied, I don't know that it would help to tell your child this or to reveal it to them. So I think like you're interested in protecting this person, which again, as it comes below the Queen of Pentacles, that is the priority, to protect this person, to make life more comfortable for them. That's the greater good. That's the thing you're sacrificing for. Great. But in the meantime, baby, you are in a bind. You are not doing so hot. And as the person I'm addressing, Pisces, or whoever I'm addressing, because it is general, it can be the other way, I'm concerned for you. How long can you do that for before before you know there's some type of detrimental result or some type of long-lasting effect that could harm you mentally, emotionally? Again, it could be about a job. I didn't ask anything, so I'm not even going to acknowledge what that was. But this could be a job. And you could be sticking with a job that provides you with a good pay, that provides you with stability and benefits, because you need health insurance for your children. And we could and we could talk about that in terms of public opinion, but I'm gonna reserve it. You hate this job, or this job taxes your body. It stresses you out. It's physically exhausting to you. Perhaps it's dangerous. Perhaps you work a job that's dangerous or has, you know, whatever risk attached to it. But without it, you couldn't have the health care that you need, the coverage that you need to take care of your children. You see what I mean? Wow. Pisces, I admire you. Pisces are some of my most favorite people in this world. And I admire you because it's a different experience than me. I don't think that I could handle this the way that you're handling it as a person, as an individual, okay? So I admire what you're doing. I admire your sacrifice. I admire your willingness and to keep up on this, because again, you're operating with the bigger goal in mind, with the bigger picture in mind, and that's beautiful. But man, are you going through it. You're hurting so bad. And if you're not hurting, congratulations. But some other Pisces in this world, they're suffering through this, okay? Where are we at? I think that's pretty much it. I don't think I need anything else. I mean, I guess, you know, similar to what I just did for Leo, I could give you like an outcome card. So let's see something that Pisces can expect in this situation. One card for what Pisces can expect in this situation going forward. Okay. Hangman, you're going to continue to be like this. Or, okay, that's a little bit, that's a little too simplified. Basically, you're going to continue to be like this. Hangman energy. This is your secondary major anyway, Pisces, secondary major for Pisces, as it's related to the planet Neptune. So, as you can see, we have this figure suspended in midair. Well, not midair, but suspended upside down. And at some point they were walled in, I'm assuming. But look what has happened. They perished. They have died. Not trying to be macabre. I don't call death in my readings, and I don't think that's going to happen for the majority of you. Nobody's going to die. But there is this energy of possibly wasting away to a point where your health is on the line. I really feel that. So get on top of your health. If this is about mental health, physical health, emotional health, spiritual health, whatever, get on top of it. That's just speaking to the artwork of the card. It's not speaking to the traditional understanding of what this card means. I'm only talking about the artwork. You could be in a situation so long and see yourself suffering in this circumstance for so long that you end up losing something very important. Not going to call it death, but I am going to speak to your health and your wellness. If you are sacrificing yourself and your body is hurting, stop doing that. Because if you're working a job or you're going into circumstances where your body is physically ailing and it's hurting and it's becoming injured, how long can you keep that up before you can no longer do the job? Does that make sense? Like if you're doing a job and like your back is hurting after every shift, maybe you're, you know, excuse me, maybe you're working at a distribution center, maybe you're working at a factory, whatever. And these are the jobs that at this time in this economic crisis that are very important because they keep, you know, other jobs and other people, you know, they keep people sustained. If you're working at a factory that produces food, right? That's important. People need food. But if your back is hurting or your knees or your arms or your neck or whatever, if your body is physically being hurt, how long can you keep that up before it conks out on you? You see what I mean? So there's a caution here to take a break or to, again, think of a new plan. This Nine of Cups in this particular reading is showing up as being, is sticking to the plan that was enacted years ago. If you've been working the same physically demanding job for 15, 20 years, you were a different age then. Your body was capable of doing something totally different 20 years ago than what it's capable of doing today. So maybe you need to think about retirement, or maybe you need to think about changing your job, which again is kind of hard to do in the middle of an economic crisis. I get it. So that's sort of speaking to the artwork. You are risking losing something if you continue in this situation, all right? The other side, the more traditional understanding of the Hangman Pisces, is to be put in a situation that is uncomfortable, like hanging upside down by one ankle, and gaining a new perspective, becoming clear on something, gaining, you know, some type of spiritual clarity or mental clarity, or again, just being open to a new perspective. I think that is sort of what some of you could embrace, and it might be helpful. It might not be the end all be all solution. It might not be the ultimate solution that you're looking for, but I do get this sense of if you do things, or if you're open to a different way of viewing your circumstances, if you're open to different ways of approaching or acting within your circumstances, you might find a different solution, or a solution you were not able to appreciate before a certain point in time. Okay? So let's move on and get you an oracle card. We're going to leave it at that. Let's get an oracle card for Pisces, please, at this time. Pisces in mid-June. What's the oracle card, please? Which deck? first card from Spirit. All right. I love this deck. It's so simple. So simple. All right, let's see. Oracle message for Pisces, please. Oracle message for Pisces at this time. Oracle message for Pisces at this time. Please show me. I still want chicken salad. I was wanting chicken salad all day yesterday, and I still want it today. And I'm not going to get it because I'm not going to the store. I just don't want to. But yeah, I could. Oof, that would be so amazing. On a toasted croissant, yes. Anyway, oracle message for Pisces, please. Thank you. Let's see what you guys get. Oracle message for Pisces. Why did I put those down? That's very interesting. I've never done that before. Are these the messages? They say take it. Okay. Wow, that was really interesting. I've never just put cards down. I was intending to continue to shuffle. That's very interesting. And you get two. And that's very interesting. I just did 2 cards for Leo, technically. All right, here we go. First one. Dearest you, we're a chatty bunch over here, always talking about how to support you in your life's journey. We communicate to you through the language of oracles, dreams, dreams, nine of swords, signs, metaphors, and omens. In your life on earth, however, clarity in your communication is essential to being understood. You don't speak in symbols, and if you did, you would definitely confuse things. Right now, you're facing a situation in which you're being asked to have integrity. Be clear and learn how to ask for your needs to be met. The first step is to admit out loud that you have needs. The second is to ask out loud for them to be met. And the third is to allow the other person, organization, or even us to answer you. When you follow these steps, you can most definitely expect an answer. In your favor, affirmative, we say. Loving you so much. That's so interesting. So go ahead and pause that and read it if you want to. But okay, so speaking your needs aloud to organizations and people that you're dealing with. Like I said, if you're in some backbreaking work and you're not being, oh, come on, man. All right, so your second card, dearest you. All of your prayers are heard and mirrored back to you from the unseen realm. Be grateful, praise things before they manifest, and always ask for the highest good. When you plead and beg, that will bring only more reason to plead and beg. Instead, offer your prayers as sacred gifts, as a testament to your faith in a higher power. Open up and let spirit move through you and comfort you. Add meditation as a way to become empty so you will be ready to be filled with inspiration and epiphanies, peace, understanding, and joy. In this moment, your prayers are being answered for the highest good of both you and all life. Sometimes what you pray for is not supposed to happen for you, and your prayers will be answered in surprising ways. At this moment, we are listening intently to your prayers and want you to know that your highest good is our priority. All is well. Okay, so that could be why I was sitting here stumped going, well, I don't know about this sacrificial thing, and I don't know about this martyrdom thing, but here is the message that kind of is showing that all is well. Even in the midst of suffering, all is well. Like, the suffering sucks, and I'm not a fan of it for you personally, but if you continue with your spiritual practice, meditation, prayer, whatever you do, whatever you're interested in doing, I feel as though spirit is looking out for you. And that could be the new perspective, or that could be the new way of viewing this situation. You might be too much in the mundane, in the 3D, thinking in your day-to-day life, and you haven't given enough or haven't really opened yourself up to this more spiritual, esoteric space, the realm of the unknown, right? So that could be something that could be helpful to you as well, Pisces, okay? All right, guys, I'm going to leave it here. If you liked the video, there's a like button down below. Go ahead and hit that for me. If you want to leave a comment, let me know how this resonated in your life. I would love to read that. Feel free to share the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. The community continues to grow. I'm enjoying meeting new clients and seeing people come to the channel who have never seen me before, but they're ecstatic to see my work, and that's been fun for me. So if you want to be a part of that journey, doing any and all of those things would be great support to the channel. If you want to directly support me as a reader, you can get a personal with me. That information is down in the description box, okay? Pisces, I thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. Take care. Bye.